Hi, I'm Fran. I'm an ICF PCC coach, and I'm also a coach mentor for ACC and PCC coaches. And today I'd like to talk about silence in coaching and that it's not an absence. It's not always about the question. Sometimes it's what a coach does after the question is asked. The ICF competency 5 maintains presence. Silence is one of your most high leverage tools. Many coaches fear silence or they're not comfortable in silence. They think it means the session has stalled. But silence is a sign of holding the space, and it's not an absence of communications, it's a presence of deep thinking. We often see coaches rushing in to ask the next question when the client has just finished speaking. And but let's talk about what happens to the client during these moments of silence. When you use silence effectively, it's possible that three things happen for your client. The brain needs time to navigate from prepackaged answers to insights, hiding in the subconscious. If you speak, you might interrupt that neutral firing. Another thing could be silence allows for the client to sit with an emotion rather than moving past it. It signals that you're not afraid of whatever is happening to them emotionally in that moment of silence. And thirdly, it could be that you are there thinking you must rescue the client by rephrasing the question, and you signal, and by doing that, you signal that the work is not belonging to them. Silence is a vote of confidence, believing in their resourcefulness. They normally would ask you if they didn't understand the question. So it's often just processing what you have asked. And the 3 second rule, let's see. So, how do you get better at it? It feels awkward at first, but here are two practical exercises: the wait and the wait technique. So, after you ask a question, wait. Then, when the client finishes speaking, wait again. Count to 3 in your head. Often the gold comes in the second wave of their response. And look out for your rescuing reflex. Notice when you feel the urge to explain your question. If you find yourself saying, "What I mean is," or to put it another way, just stop. Practice asking and anchoring. Ask the question, then anchor yourself in your chair. Breathe and wait. Sometimes the client thinks during the silence, and they will then look at the coach. Sometimes they will they might continue talking. They're silent and then they continue. They thought of something and they continue talking. If they just sit and then they look at the coach, look at the client's body language, you'll see when they are ready for you to talk or to ask the next question. And when they look back at you after the period of silence, it's it's like they're checking for two things: either reassurance or direction. And where do we go now? They're ready for the next question. You might, sounds quite harsh, but you might kill a breakthrough by jumping in with a follow up question, focusing only on what you heard. The thoughts might still be buffering in their mind. Instead, you want to use a low interference question that invites them to export what they just processed. So I'll give you a few examples. Maybe you noticed the client's facial expression was active, eyes moving, frowning, nodding, smiling during the silence. You could ask them, "Would you like to share what was happening for you during that moment of silence?" Or, "What did you just discover in that silence?" Perhaps you could ask, "What was the most important thought that just crossed your mind?" And they will elaborate and you will go deeper. You could, if you've noticed a shift, some questions that you could ask is, "I noticed your expression changed just then. What shifted for you? I noticed your look change. What did you discover? I saw a bit of a smile there. What was behind that? You can stay curious. Find out what's going on for your client. Coaching the client, what is going on for them. If the silence felt heavy or stuck, you could perhaps help them organize their thought. As you sat with that, what shifted for you? What's the one word that sums up those last few moments of thinking? How does that silence change how you're looking at this challenge? It's all in what's happening for the client, dancing in the moment. You are not a silent coach. You are a coach who's comfortable with silence or who's comfortable with the void. Next time you're in a session and that awkward silence hits, don't fill it. Imagine that silence is a physical container, and the longer you hold it, the more room your client has to grow. Try it in your next session and see what happens when you let the silence do the heavy lifting. And feel free to contact me and share your thoughts, write some comments. I would be happy to hear what your thoughts are on the use of silence in a coaching session. And lastly, just like to add, I'm currently busy building a group mentorship program that will be available soon. So I'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to join the mailing list, let me know and I'll be happy to put you on there. Thank you.